Hello, everybody. This is Patrick, and I am waiting for my little kitty Kira to get out of the way. Kira. Hello, Missy. Okay, let's see if I can. La la la. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday mini medicine card readings. Kira is here to help, theoretically. And okay, Missy, sit, lay. So I am Patrick, and I am going to pull some cards for us tonight. Missy Kira is excited to see me because I haven't been home all day. And so we will see if we can work around her wanting to be cuddly and close. All right, Missy. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna, now that I got her settled, we are gonna light up my candle. Gonna light some sage and San Pedro, whatever. I am really tired, so if I start babbling or sounding weird or like I'm not sure what I'm saying, blah blah blah, because I just woke up from a nap. So this Monday is the Monday that I worked all day doing readings at Crescent Moon Gifts in Tacoma. So I'm a little tired. I've been reading all day. Had quite a few readings today. So we are going to, normally I pull 6 cards, but I am just going to do 3 tonight, so that I don't overtax my limited resources here. Just smudging my cards. So I'm figuring just kind of getting my things together, letting people catch up to know that we are live. So how this works is, like I said, I'm going to pull 3 cards. So your job is to choose a number 1 through 3. Or if you want to pick 2 numbers or 3 numbers, all 3 of them, that is fine too, because this is an unlimited universe, and you deserve everything you desire. If you desire 3 cards, you get 3 cards. Desire 2 cards, you get 2 cards. There is no limits. There are no rules, only guidelines. So I'm going to pull 3 cards, and these, if you haven't been with me before, these are the cards I use. They're called the medicine card deck. Each card has a different animal totem on them, and so each animal has a different medicine, different energy, power, symbolism, and then that gives you that guidance. It's like which animal is going to be with you this week for your guidance. So all right, here we go. So we have 3 cards. So if 1 was the number you picked, then your card is a possum. Possum has been coming up a lot lately in the readings I've been doing for people. Possum is number 1. The possum is the actor of the animal kingdom. Possum, like playing dead, faking out their predators by playing dead. And what a possum comes to help with is to see through the drama. Like, a possum knows that she's playing dead. She doesn't get caught into her own acting ability and think that she's really dead. She knows it's an act. She knows that she is the actor and that what she's doing is just a drama, just an act. So it's a realization to step back from your life and to look upon your life as a play, as a movie, because on some level, this whole world, this universe is an illusion. I mean, every major religion, well, I don't know about every major, but most religions, I'll put it that way because I don't know all religions, but most religions even talk about this world being a dream, being an illusion. And a possum comes along to help you realize that, like the saying goes, you are not of the world. You're in the world, not of the world. That you are an actor from someplace else. You have come from somewhere else and you are just spending some time here. That whole idea of being a spirit and having a human experience rather than a spirit having a human experience. You are, in your essence, divine light and love. You are eternal. You are a part of source energy, and there is nothing that can change that. Everything that happens here, all the dramas of life, all the different challenges, whatever happens, they are just that. They are dramas. Like Shakespeare talks about how the world's a stage and each of us plays a part. We come into this world, there is this like forgetfulness that is part of the formula when we are born here, that we forget. Some people still remember, or sometimes the memories come back from your origins, where you were, where you came from, past lives or whatever. But that is why in almost every religion, every spiritual practice, they talk about awakening, because this world is a dream, and if you believe that this world is all that's real, then you're living in a dream. The awakening comes as you start to realize that there is more than meets the eye to this world, that there's a reality underneath this world that actually creates this world, and that you are from that original creative matrix, if you want to put it that way. And so the awakening, it's not that we learn things. It's like our spiritual path is not to learn new things and to pile on new education of stuff that we didn't know before. The awakening is kind of a shoving off of all the illusions, all of the expectations and beliefs and thought patterns that have kind of been foisted on us from childhood to like keep us in a box. Awakening is realizing that there is a box and that you are not this person, that the world has told you you are. You are so much more. And that your life is, it's a movie, it's a play, it's an act. You are not the character that you play, you are the actor, if that makes sense. What else was I going to say about that? And so Opossum is here to help us to help in our awakening, to see the world as the dream of what it really is, to see through the illusion of the dream to your true nature, to the true nature of the universe. And it's like the universe is a giant hologram. Like if you, bringing up Star Trek again, if you've ever watched Star Trek Next Generation, especially, they have the holodeck on the ship where they have, they create holograms. Come on, Missy. They have holograms that they can project, and to the point of being like physical, like able to touch, so they can create, they can do simulations, they can create other worlds, anything you can think of, they can create in the holodeck. And if you didn't know it was a holodeck, you would think that it's real life. That's what we're doing here. It's like this whole world is the holodeck. This whole world is a hologram. It's just light. It's a light show. It's just light and shadow and smoke and mirrors. But the basic makeup of the universe is just energy. Everything is energy, and it's about vibrations and frequencies. So when you start to realize that you are the actor and not the character, then you start to be able to change the hologram around you. You get to go off script. Then you're no longer obligated to read the script, to do what's expected, and by doing that, by going forward in your own awakening to the reality of who you are and what the universe is, then you force other people to go off script, because you stop reading the script, and they have to stop reading the script because they have to respond to what you're saying and what you're doing, and that part isn't in the script, and so they have to throw theirs away and be present to respond to you. So play with that. And if I'm being reminded of, I spent like 10 years or so in extreme anxiety and panic attacks and such. And the whole time, the thing that kept me in that state of anxiousness and fear was that it seemed like this was all that was real. Like anything that was solid was real. There was nothing else. And I couldn't see my way through the illusion. So it was very claustrophobic, like the world would just kind of close in on me because there was nothing else besides this world. And it was actually the fairies that helped me through that, because I found this picture. I don't have it over here. There's this painting that I love of this woman in the dark in the woods, kind of bending over and looking at all the little people, glowing fairies and elves and stuff, dancing around her in a ring. And I put that on my wall to remind me. And every time I looked at that picture, it was like, yes, there are fairies. We can't see them, but they are there. And it was that little bit I needed. It was like just a little bit of a portal, enough to see through the physicalness to what's on the other side. So ask Possum to come and help if you get that claustrophobic, if you're going through anxiety and can't see through to the other side, you can't see any other reality besides this tunnel vision, then ask Possum to come and help you to see through that illusion, to help you get in touch with your own true nature. Okay? So that's a possum. I'm really trying not to go into too much. I'm trying to keep this kind of short and simple tonight, but there's so many other aspects I could go into, but that feels complete for a possum. So number 2, if 2 is your card, then you pull turtle. Turtle is again a very complex animal, complex medicine. The main thing about turtle is she is always home, right? She carries her shell with her, so no matter where she goes, whether it's on land or in the sea, she is always home. There is no place she can go where she is not home. And so it's a sense of that becoming comfortable in your own skin, kind of stepping into your power. And it kind of comes from that realization from a possum that when you realize that you're the center of the show, you're the star, you're the hero of the story, then everything revolves around you. Then you have everything you need right here. You are always home. Like I like to point out, turtle, her shell is part of her body, right? Turtle, her shell is actually part of her backbone that comes out and shelters her. So, like, a lot of times in spiritual work, we think about protection. We worry about what could be out there to get us, what other people might be sending at us, that kind of thing. So we were like, oh, I need to protect myself. I need to put on armor. I need to do things to protect myself. And the thing is, when we do that, there is a time and a place for that. I'm not gonna come down on that like it's like, no, don't do it. There is a time and space for that. But beyond that, when you start to realize that this whole shooting match is an illusion and a dream, then what is there to protect yourself from? Because it's all one energy, it's all one thing. And again, you're probably going to get tired of me saying this, but there's that quote from Einstein about the greatest decision you are ever going to make is whether you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one. And if you live in a friendly universe, then you know that everything that happens for your best interest, that the universe conspires for your greatness, and that anything that happens, no matter what it looks like or how it feels, is there to help you realize that true essence of yourself. And so, like I said, if you are a divine being of light and everything is being created around you, the outside world is a mirror of your inner world. And so when you realize that you're the creator of your life, then what is there to be afraid of? What is there to protect yourself against? So it's moving out of duality and moving into a non-dual universe where everything is one. There is no separation. And so, which is interesting because Turtle does have kind of a dualistic nature because she can go into the water or she can go up onto land. She's a creature of many environments. And she can do that because she doesn't see a separation. It's not like water's good, land's bad, or vice versa. It's like no matter where she goes, she is home. She is the creator, the hero of her story. And so she can go into whatever realm she wants to because it's all part of the same system. So what I'm trying to get at is that the greatest protection is your innocence, your true nature. It's surrendering into that divine nature that you already are. It's like I said, sloughing off all those old thoughts and belief patterns, all these things that the world tells you that you are, and stepping actually into the center of your life to know your true power, your true nature. And the more you do that, the more authentic you get, the more into that purity and innocence of who you truly are, then that is how you raise your vibration. It's not by striving. It's not by trying to become something we're not. It's by surrendering into our true nature, because you are already high vibration. You are already a divine being, and those things just get covered over. And like when we put on armor to protect ourselves, we're dimming our own light. And sometimes, depending on what's going on, that can be necessary. Like I said, I went through like 10 years of extreme anxiety, and I was constantly needing to protect myself because I was just so wide open and everything affected me. And so at that point, the protection, that protection is like the shell of a seed, right? Because it's the hardness of the shell that allows the inner workings of the seed to grow and to evolve. And so at that point, it's protected. It serves a purpose. But eventually, you have to burst out of that shell. Someplace along the line, along your spiritual path. If you're to go any further, you have to just open and surrender. There's no other way to do it. There's no other way to get there, because it's realizing who you already are. And so it's just the surrendering. And that actually, going back to my anxiety years, one of the things toward the end that really, really helped me come out of that was Dr. Phil. I was watching, this was back in the 90s, and I was watching a Dr. Phil program. He was doing a program on anxiety, and so he had people on that were talking about their anxiety and what it feels like and what they're trying to do. And what Dr. Phil told them, it's like when you have anxiety, it's like you feel like you're constantly under attack. You're constantly having to protect and to curl in. And Dr. Phil was like, okay, so the fear is death, right? The fear is destruction. The fear is that God is out to get you. He said, what if you just said, okay, God, I'm right here. If it's my time to go, take me now. And totally just casting off all that fear, all that anxiety, and just saying, here I am. If you want me, here I am. And that was just so powerful for me. And it's not, I'm not saying that's like, it's going to just be like this, like a light switch and boom, and it's all better. There's still a process involved in doing that over and over again. But that was the point where everything shifted for me, because at that point I started realizing that, okay, I've been doing this for so long. When a panic attack starts, I know exactly what it is. I know it's temporary, and so instead of fighting it and trying to make it better, tightening down, if I tighten down in the middle of a panic attack, I'm only going to make it worse. So I realized that the only way to overcome it was to surrender into it. It's like, okay, I know what this is. I've been through this before. I know I'm not going to die, and I know it's going to be over eventually. And usually by just surrendering into it, it didn't last as long as it once did. So it's like, in a nutshell, surrender. Know that you are automatically protected just by who you are. And when we move into I'm trying to think of a different word, like, it's the hardness of turtle shell that allows the softness to endure. And so it's like when we move into that innocence, into that purity, then we create, like, the energy we give off, the vibrancy, the frequency we give off is a higher frequency. So we're basically surrounded in a bubble of light, and nothing of a lower frequency can come through that, right? It's the same as, like, your car remote, like when you start your car with a button, or when you unlock your car, lock your car, it's frequency. And no one can get in with a different frequency, right? That's the whole point. And so when you're putting off this frequency, it's like anything of a lower frequency can't break through that shell. And so it's through that softness, nurturing that openness, that beauty and light and love, that you become protected on the outside. So that is a long explanation for turtle, and I know I'm kind of tired tonight, so I might have babbled a little bit. I don't know if that made sense, but I hope it does. So number 3, and we are only doing 3 cards tonight, because I was doing readings all day today, and I want to do this every week, and I want to be consistent. So, but on the days that every other Monday I do readings at a local metaphysical shop, and so like today I had a number of readings, and so my mind is a little bit tired, and I just woke up from a nap before I started this. So I'm starting to finally kind of wake up a little bit. My head was still a little in that groggy space. But so we're only doing 3 cards tonight, because that's probably all I can handle at the moment. So if 3 was your card, what you got was Wild Boar. It's kind of cool the way these all fit together. What Wild Boar stands for, Wild Boar is, well, the word in the book that comes with the cards is conflict. But what it really is initiation. Throughout the world, in many, many, many cultures, the initiation into adulthood, the rite of passage to become an adult, is to kill a wild boar. Because wild boar is probably the most fierce animal on the planet. They're crazy. They're fearless. They start spinning in circles and just slashing with their tusks. and they just kind of go into this bloodlust, and they just go crazy. And even a tiger will see a wild boar coming down the path, and the tiger will turn around and go the other way, because even a tiger doesn't want to tangle with a boar. So what that means to you is that if that's your card, then most likely you are going through an initiation right now. Basically, you're leveling up. It's like a time that you're facing the boar. But boar medicine is really, to me, it reminds me of how you learn karate so that you don't need to use it. I'm going to sneeze in a minute, so... Excuse me. So, boar is like when you learn karate, not that I know karate, but I love karate. I actually do Tai Chi. Kind of the same thing, but when you do one of those things, it fills you with that confidence and that self-knowledge and a kind of fearlessness. Like, you have that confidence that you can handle any situation. You know, you don't have to be afraid, because whatever happens, you're ready to handle whatever it is. And because of that, like I was talking about with Turtle, that's a rising of your frequency, your vibration around you. And so you put off this energy of confidence, of being whole and healthy and vibrant. And that means that most likely you are not going to need to use those things, because the people who would normally prey on you are not going to get that vibe of, like, when they're looking for prey, like they look for people that are that seem lost or not confident. Like, it's kind of similar to like wild predators picking out the weakest of the herd, or the sick ones of the herd. It's kind of a twisted version of it, but those who prey on others tend to look for those signature vibrations. So if you're carrying yourself with that confidence of who you are, all those things I was talking about with Turtle and Opossum, then you're not going to need to use those things, because no one is going to challenge you. It's walking with that, and that's what it's like. When you have that confidence, that centeredness, then just like boar, anyone that sees you coming, they're going to get that vibe first, and they're going to know that you're not someone you'd want to tangle with. And it doesn't have to necessarily be even a negative thing, like I am badass and it's not like a power over thing and being king of the hill. It's just about walking in your power, being your leader, the hero of your story. And so the way I see boar, it's so cool. After years and years and years and years of using these cards, I am still learning. The animal spirits still show me new and different ways of using their medicine. So boar came up in a reading not too long ago, and what I saw was this person standing kind of in the clearing in a forest, like in the middle, and all around them were these shadowy figures. And it's like those were their fears, like their personal demons. And this shifted my whole idea of fear and of personal demons, right? And it's kind of like, I don't remember which one now that I was talking about, but it fits totally with what I was saying about Opossum and Turtle. but standing in the middle, facing your demons, facing those fears, you know, our world, our reality, your personal reality, is bounded by fear. You know, you live in the comfort zone, in the middle of your world, in the middle of your reality, and around the edges of that reality, it's like the old maps about like here be dragons, like nobody ventures beyond that point because they don't know what exists there. So I'm not talking about like white knuckle fear, like, oh my God, but I'm talking like comfort zone, like at least comfort zones, like you're in this comfort zone, and to go past that barrier, you don't know what's on the other side. It's uncomfortable to go through that. So there is kind of this wall of fear to go through. And like I was talking about with turtle and with the seed, that shell of fear keeps you safe. Like it's like when you're a kid and they say don't cross the street without holding the hand of an adult. That's to keep you safe. It's a healthy fear to help you stay safe, because you're not in that development stage where you can make those decisions for yourself and your physical safety is actually at stake. So you have these fears that keep you safe, and then you outgrow those, just like the seed bursting out of the seed case. It's like you hit a point where, oh, I've been crossing the street for a long time now, and I know what the walk signal means, and I can pay attention to the cars. I know when it's safe to cross, and so you step through that fear and you claim your power on the other side. And so I'm not talking like life and death fear necessarily, although sometimes they are. It's our fears that hold us back. And up to the point where you're ready to face those fears, they serve us by keeping us contained, right? We're safe within that container. And so rather than being these fearsome demons, they actually are our guardians, and they keep us safe. And they're like our gatekeepers, because then when we're growing and we start to outgrow this reality and start to wonder what's on the other side of that wall, what's on the other side of that fence, then we approach those demons, those fears or doubts, and we have to face that demon. And when you face them, knowing who you are at the center of your reality, knowing your true nature, then you know that they are an illusion. And by facing them, you're actually calling in your power. And the only thing powering them is your fear. So when you take back your power, take back that energy of fear that created them in the first place, then they just disappear. And then you're free. They're the gatekeeper. They're there to make sure you're ready to cross that line. And if you can face them and look them in the eye and see them for the illusion they are, or for the kin that they are to you, for keeping you safe, and now opening the door for you to go further, they disappear and you expand your territory. But it's by facing our fears. It's like another thing Einstein talked about was you can't solve a problem with the same consciousness that created the problem. You have to up the consciousness. You have to come from a whole different angle. And so in order to move through this fear, you have to have that confidence and dedication to move through it, knowing that there's something better on the other side. So that is Bohr in a nutshell. I always feel, I know Bohr is funny because Bohr is the masculine, right? There's the boar and there's the sow, and the boar is the male. But whenever boar comes up, I get this feeling, this Amazon feeling, like Wonder Woman, like, and it's like calling in all your power, like everything you have done up to this point is experience, and it's kind of like all over the place. But to get through this door, you have to call on all these experiences and put them together in order to create the key to open that door to move forward. So if that is your card, congratulations, you're leveling up. You're either in the process of doing that, or you've already come through and claimed that boar skin. So yeah, so that is our reading for tonight. Let me go back over them again for those who came in late. If you came in late, go ahead and choose a number 1 through 3. 1 through 3. And I will go back over these real quickly, just abbreviated. And if you need to go back and rewatch this, I will post this on my Facebook page and on my I've got a YouTube channel too that you can subscribe to. So that is always a possibility, but feel free to rewatch it, later in the week. Choose a different number and rewatch it and see what that message was, because you were probably only paying attention to the one that you chose. So it's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving. So number 1, if 1 is your number, you got a possum. A possum medicine is about seeing the drama of the world for what it is, seeing through the illusion of the world, knowing that you are a spirit, or a spirit having a human experience rather than a human having a spiritual experience. The spirit is your essence. You are not of this world. You are just in the world for a purpose, to learn, to remember. And so possum helps us to just take that little bit of a perspective, little bit of a step back from the world in order to see it more clearly. So that's a possum. Number 2, if 2 was your card, you got turtle. Turtle is about, what did I say? There's so many different aspects to turtle that I'm trying to remember which one protection, like, okay, turtle is, protection, but it's, the shell of turtle is part of turtle's body. She doesn't have to put on armor to protect herself. She doesn't have to pull in things to protect herself. By just being who she is automatically protected. And because, just like a possum, she knows her true nature, the softness in the center of the hardness, that allows her to be, she is always home. That was the point. Turtle is always home. She carries her home with her. So no matter where she goes, on land or into the sea, she is always home. She is always comfortable. She is the center of her reality, just like a possum. You are the hero of your story. And because of that, it allows her to travel into different realms, like into the water or onto land. And because she knows she's protected and that all she has to do is pull into the shell, that gives her the courage to venture even further, to explore things she might not otherwise explore. Number 3, if 3 was your card, you got boar. You are so boring. Just kidding. Boar is about initiation. Cross-culturally throughout the world, killing a wild boar is the gateway, the rite of passage into adulthood, because boar is probably the fiercest animal on the planet, the wildest, the most unpredictable, the craziest. And so the point is that you're not guaranteed to survive, right? So Boar is facing your fears, looking them in the eye, realizing that your fears are illusions, just like the rest of the world. Hi, Kit Kat. You distracted me. Now I've lost my train of thought, Missy. So Boar is about facing those demons, knowing that they are an illusion, just like a possum, knowing that the rest, like the world is an illusion. It's a dream. And so there is nothing that can overcome you. There is nothing to truly be afraid of, because you are a spirit in human clothing, and you are protected by your very nature. You are immortal. You will be here way beyond time. When time ceases to exist, you will still be here. So no matter what, you will come through. So that gives you the confidence and the courage to step into your power, to know that whatever fears are around you, they have no power, especially when you face them. Your fears become greater by your trying to ignore them, by running away from them. By running away from them, you're giving them your power. You're saying, you are more powerful than me. So you're lessening your own power, and you're giving your power to these illusions of fear. And so when you turn around and face them, you are claiming back that power that you gave into this fear. And it still might be scary because it just is. But they cannot stand against you if you call back your own power. They will diminish. They will fade away. So own your power and know that, like my teacher, Sandra Ingerman, says, one of her guides told her, she was going through some initiation, some big change, and she was like, am I going to even survive this? Am I going to get through this? And her guide said, if you knew you were going to survive, it wouldn't be an initiation. So it's really just facing those fears, moving through them. Like I was talking earlier, like when I was talking about turtle and protection and how it's surrendering into your true nature, that really is the only way to protect yourself. Because I got distracted, someone else popped up on the screen, sorry about that. My attention span is a little wonky today. Maybe it needed to go off, maybe I was talking too much. So know that none of your fears your fears have no substance other than that you give them. Your fears are like paper tigers. They look fierce, they look like they can eat you, but when you face them, they crumple. They have no power. And it's funny because a lot of, I heard this one time that like those really scary gods and demons, like in Chinese mythology, like in the Chinese temples, they look like fierce and they've got tusks and they're huge and they look like they're mad. Like I've heard that those beings are actually really happy and jolly and wouldn't hurt a fly, and it's just that facade, their appearance, that they depend on to protect those temples. That it's just because of that image, no one really has the courage to stand up to see what's real. They take the facade as the reality, which is what I was talking about with a possum. It's like knowing that this world is an illusion, not taking the world on face value, but knowing that there is so much more underneath the surface of it. All right, so that is our reading for this week. If you came in late, thank you so much just for being here. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your support. Feel free to rewatch this. I'll post it right away to my Facebook page and to my YouTube channel. And feel free to rewatch it and watch it as many times as you need to during the week if you need a little boost of inspiration or to remember which animal guide is kind of walking beside you this week to help. And feel free to share this. And remember, I'm here to support you. Like if you enjoy this, if you come in and see this every week, number one, thank you so much. Number two, feel free to approach me to arrange a personal reading, because I can go, when we do a personal reading, you get like 5 cards at least, sometimes even more. And then they all kind of talk to each other, and it's all geared towards your specific needs. This is kind of like a newspaper horoscope kind of thing, where it's kind of a generalized message. It may or may not fit. But if you'd like something, if you need a boost, if you need guidance, if you need clarity, I am so happy and joyful to be able to help you with that. My whole purpose is to help empower others. I'm not here to take others' power or to become the great teacher that knows everything and you should do this. I'm here to help you find your own guidance. I'm here to help empower you so that I become unnecessary, basically. So let me know if there's anything I can do to support you. Check out my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, to see my other shamanic services that I offer, different healing and different things like that. And I also just put up a page on my website for some holiday gift ideas. I have some things on a site called Zazzle that there's like t-shirts and mugs with totem animals on them. And there's stickers and magnets and some other things. From my comics, I'm also a cartoonist, if people didn't know that. And then there's also on a site called Blurb, I have a number of graphic novels for sale, like different comics I've done, and a coloring book, a totem animal coloring book, an ABC, which is really fun. And then I just actually put one together. It's the 12 totems of Christmas, and it's like 12 totems for each of the 12 days of Christmas. Like if the 12 days each had an animal, like most of them do in the song, I assigned the other non-animal ones animals, and then gave a little short blurb about what each of those gifts really are. So that's fun too. So check those out on my website. And I have gift certificates if you want to gift someone else with a reading or a healing or whatever. That would be wonderful too. And so thank you again for joining me. I know this was a shorter one, just the 3 cards, but next week I have the day off, so I'm going to be more fresh and clear at this time of the night, and so we'll do the full 6 then. But thank you again so much for joining me. Thank you. I look forward to this every week. And so until next time, just know that I love you and that I see you and that I honor you. So until next time, my friends, go shining.